Hi guys, let me explain Gann Box on the weekly chart. Now I am selecting Gann Box. And I am selecting from this major low till this major high. And I'm copying, pasting it and putting it right next to it. Now, wait a minute, let me correct it. Let's align it. Now, I've picked this low till this high. And if you look closely, you will see that usually it stops near this vertical line, the time period line. It stopped here but resumed the trend upward. But if you look closely from this time frame end, it literally changed the direction. Now it did rose up but was straight. So from this time onwards, the trend changed up. It went up, down, up. Now, if you look closely, this 50 and 61.8% mark, because these are uh, the basic major turning points. There are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 major uh, time changing major moments. But this 50% mark means it's the middle point. This is 61.8% mark. So these two are the major changing points. If you look closely as we move forward, and if I just zoom in for you, you will see first off at the 25% mark, it did had a stoppage for a few days. Then it rose up. Then again on the time frame, it did had a stoppage. So basically, these time intervals help people gauge the understanding of the future. So they literally stopped at that end. Usually, due to the push upward, it did went upward for the first few days, but it did went straight. Now the point is 50 and 61.8% mark. Now let us paste a Gann box on the top of previous Gann box. Let me zoom out. Let me change it. It's not exact, so let me here we go. Now let me zoom in. Now if you look closely from the 50% mark, it did went up. It didn't change the direction. But as we discussed earlier, 50 and 61.8% mark are the major points. It did rose higher, but if you look closely, it did stopped at that point and it rose again up. Now, if you remember the strategy page, we discussed an important point, that was the trend line. If the trend line is up, usually it goes up. If the trend line is down, usually it goes down. So you need to gauge the trend line as well. If you are good at trend line making stuff, then Gann Box will do wonders for you. So always remember this. Now, what do I mean by that? The first thing that we discussed was Wait a minute. Time zones. Now, time zones do say that there can be a change, number one, but you need to see the trend. Now, I am making few trend lines that will help you understand. The first is the starting moments. The second is from this low. Wait a minute. Now this low and this low is attached. So it's showing you a complete uptrend. Now let me mark a third line. From this low, wait a minute, it's not copied. So let me select it again. Let's select the fourth line first. From this low. Till this low. Now, let me move forward to show you. Now, if you look closely, we have three lines. First is shorter one from the start. Second is this low till this low. And third is from this low till this low. Now, if you look closely, all these trend lines were slowly and gradually pointing upwards. So you were seeing a higher trend upward. Now, whenever this kind of a higher trend comes in, and you have the time levels saying that a change in trend can be possible on this end, then let's say at the 0.5% level, it says a change in trend is possible. But you won't be just jumping around and selling your holding. You'll be waiting for this trend line to be broken. Did it broke this trend line? Because this trend line would be possible because it needed this low. It never broke this trend line. It went straight and went higher. Now at 61.8 level, you would have seen that a change in trend can be possible. But you had these two lows. So it was pointing a line upward. Now if it is pointing upward, you would have known that if it breaks this line, then a major trend comes in. Did it broke? No. The price went further higher. If you look closely, right here it did broke. And the price then came down. It even broke this line. So the trend lines are also really important. And they help you in understanding the future. Now, Gann Box helps you in a picture. It gives you a complete picture that this is the half point, this is the end point, this is 61.8% level on the price, on the time. It gives you complete picture. But basically the trends help you understand what to do, because basically within the market you need to buy, sell or short sell. These are the three things that you need to do, right? So how would you know what to do? That's where the trend lines comes in. Now if you look at it, if I just zoom out, this first box was selected from low to high, nothing extraordinary. Then we copied it right here. Now if you look closely, it was falling initially. Then it made double O's and started to rise up. So once it started to rise up, you would have a complete picture. Okay, for Apple, it's rising up. Now from where it rose up, this level is, the close is 56.65 and this high is 132. So it means about 150% gain. But the major problem within the market is, how do you know when to short sell or sell? That's where the trends comes in. Now once the trend was broken after the 75% mark right here, you already knew that there is a change in the game. And once it broke this trend line and broke this level of 25% mark, if you look at it, 0.25. Now you multiply it by 100, so you get a percentage. Now Once it broke it, you already knew this mark was achievable. And once it broke this level, it was literally showing you a change in trend on the downside. So once you know it's downside, you need to short sell. So you'll be looking at levels on the lower side. Once it was pointing a trend up, you were looking at levels on the top side. This is how you look at levels, like at the change of trend. Because if you're looking at the levels at every time, it's really hard for you to make the gain, to trade the stock or forex or anything you like. So you need to understand the future. Now it looks to me it's not exact, so let me correct it. Wait a minute. Here we go. Now if you look at it, once it broke this low, there was this line which was stopping it. But once it went lower on this day, if I just zoom in, right here, once it closed below this line on this day, you already knew it's targeting this level. Now if we look closely, it opened lower, but came back up. This is how you'll be understanding what's happening within the market. And Gann Box will be helping you to understand levels and time levels. So you will know, okay, this level has been crossed. So now I have the next level after so many weeks. It may be going straight, but the trend lines will help you understand what the trend is. And therefore, these two things merged will give you a longer term aim. And that's how you can trade. Now, on the weekly level, usually it is brilliant because you will know what's happening and the profit level will be huge. Your trades will be less, so you'll be paying lesser commissions. As on the time frame, it's from July till about 20 months or 19 months. So it means lower tax bracket, capital gain tax. So basically, you're earning from both ends. That's why I usually recommend my students to trade on the longer run because they are better off. Now, although most of them don't really trade on the long end, they like the day trading stuff, and that's why I have examples based on the day trading stuff. But my advice is long term stuff because day trading stuff means you'll make good trades, you'll lose bad trades. So it's like both ends. And at the end of the quarter, you'll analyze what's happening. And to trade either weekly or intraday, you should open a demo account first and trade this strategy on the demo account to understand how it's working. Then jump in with your own money. At least trade in demo account for 6 months, at least. So this is how you'll be trading the weekly aim. And if you look closely, the trend was down, so the price was going down. If I aim a trend line from the top two highs, go to format, rather than this, it's pointing lower. If I make another trend line from this eye, oh no. So I've attached this eye and this eye. Again, I will be going to format. Now, if you look closely, if I move forward, this trend line was started to break here. And once it broke here, these two lower represented a trend up. So you again went from a lower trend to an upper trend. And you would have started trading accordingly. This is how you can change your direction automatically by just looking at the trend and the gain box. Because once you know the trend, you can see the levels on gain box on top. And the time levels will help you to understand, okay, at the 50% mark, you need to look at it. What are you doing? Are you in profit? Are you in losses? What should you be doing? If you're trading on the weekly end, but you're adding the candlestick technique we discussed in the earlier chapter. Candlestick says right here it's sell. So you'll be selling. But will you be short selling? No, because the major trend is up. So you'll be buying at a lower end or on this candle's high or close. So basically, you can trade, but you can trade according to the psychology of the market, because the trend is up, so you will not be short selling it. You will be selling it to lock in your profit, but you won't be short selling it. And that's how you'll be understanding the different aims of the market. When not to short sell. Right here it's saying sell. But does it say short sell? The price did went lower, but the major trend is up. When the major trend is up, you never short sell. You can sell and buy it lower, but you can never short sell. This is how you understand what not to do at that time. Now right here it did cross upward. So it showed you that okay, the downward trend seems to be stopping. Now will you be squaring a short sell? Yes, you will. But will you be buying? You will need a trend line up before buying. That's important. And for that you need two lows, example here. And if I make a trend line up, and I go to format, extend it from here, close it from here. Wait a minute. Here we go. Now it's showing a trend up. If I move forward, the price literally went up. So this is how the trends really help you understand. Now, once it went up, your level, this 2.5% level was here. This 50% level was here, and it did stop on this level. It went higher, but again came back to touch the 0.5% level right here. So this is how the trends help. So you will have an understanding which levels are coming. If you're trading for a shorter profit, these levels help you to exit. These time levels will help you to understand, okay, let's review the strategy again. Is there a problem? Is everything working correctly? So these time frames will help you gauge. Example, let's presume you never had these trend lines. Then even once the high started to get lower, this 100% mark told you to look into it. There is something not right. And that's where you would have changed the decision. If I just zoom out, the trend was down right here. But on this mark, you could have gauged, okay, let's reconcile our trends. And right here, the reconciliation would have told you that the trend is pointing up. These two lows are pointing up. The falling trend seems to be over. So these time frames can help in that. Let's discuss this strategy onwards in the next lecture. Thank you.